At 7 o'clock, I'll go ahead and call the January 6th Planning Commission meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Here. 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 Okay, we have an approval, and we have a quorum, so we need an approval of our agenda, but I do want to add, I got a call today for the next meetings on the bottom. By the way, we do have agendas up on the counter back there if anybody wants them. We have I just want to add that we have a Tri-Township meeting a week from Thursday, January 16th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the South Shore Fire Station. I think that's the same as the hall, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to add that to our agenda.
Can we change the date?
We can, from November 11th.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. For a motion as modified?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with additions and corrections.
Okay, we have a motion. Look for a second. Got a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, we have an agenda. Okay, tonight is this planning commission and members of the board. We've been working on this, and Susie's here tonight. We've been working on it for a long time. Probably 3 years, Anthony. So with Northeast Michigan Council of Governments on updating our zoning ordinance, and it's been through several iterations, and we have tried to get as much as we could. We feel pretty comfortable with it, and there's been a lot of new information added, primarily from Northeast Michigan Council of Government through their experiences with other townships that they represent. So they pass along ordinance changes, pros, cons from their experiences working in other communities to us. And this ordinance has been at least 3 years. I know Anthony's been on it, I don't know if the whole time, but it's been before I was on the planning commission as well. So we've gotten to a point, we actually had a public hearing probably 6 months ago. We've had several changes to it since then, and now is our opportunity again to have a public hearing on it and get any additional comments, feedback, and then with no further changes or no major changes, the process that an ordinance like this takes place is very similar to a rezoning. If this planning commission deems it feasible to move this ordinance forward, it'll go on to Elkhorn County, to the Board of Commissioners. They technically have the opportunity to review it and make comments on it and send it back to us. Typically they don't. Generally what happens is it goes there and sits for 30 days, and then it comes back to us, and we move it on to the township board. The township board also may elect to have a public hearing just like this if there's any comments from either your folks or the county that the board may deem feasible or prudent that they want to make changes to it. So, and then once it gets back to the board, if the board rules in favor of it and adopts it, then this ordinance becomes the new ordinance for the township. So it takes about 60 days, 60 to 75 days from this point, depending on whether the county acts on it right away or not. So, and as well as the township board. So with that, right now is it is about 7:05. I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anybody that wants to speak, talk, raise their concerns, ask questions, We won't be answering questions right now, but we'll take your questions and discuss them. And then, once we close the public hearing, we'll go back into our regular meeting, and then we'll discuss the ordinance amongst ourselves here, and then we'll decide what to do with it. So with that in mind, it's about 7:05. We'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. If anybody has any comments, like to definitely make sure that your name is written on that sign-in sheet that we have, so Barb can keep notes of it, and let us know your thoughts.
One question. What's online now, is that with all the changes in it, or is there other changes coming on top of that one?
What's
What's already online that I printed off? Is that with all the current changes?
I don't know if the old one is on. I thought we asked them to take it on. The
No,
old one
but-
is on?
Well,
Okay.
we left it on there because if somebody wants to do something right now, that's the one.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant did you mean the old, the draft?
No, the new one that you've got online.
Yeah.
Is that with all the changes?
Correct,
That's
yes.
what I asked.
Yes, yep. The current adopted ordinance is also online. We have the old book and the new book,
Yeah,
but
I
we've
have
gone through a
both
couple
of them.
iterations,
I
but
have
if
both
you,
of them.
yeah, on the website, there's a pop-up, and that ordinance that's in there is that's the current book that we're considering right
The
now.
one that has all these little green stuff on it.
Yes. Anybody else?
Just want to thank everybody for all their hard work and the consideration in the best interest of the township. Thank you.
That's it. Anybody else? Gonna make it a short night for us.
Was there any changes to agriculture, to the farming community? Anything that came up?
Not that I know of.
Well, most of that's gonna be covered under the right to farm.
Which will supersede most of the things that's in here.
I don't think there was anything, at one point we were talking about changing lot size, parcel sizes, but we did not do that. So, I think it did too. The only thing I'm thinking of, because the ordinance has different, provisions, let me just think of like signage. I think there was a change to signage, that's more of a commercial, it's not really farming. But there may be some things that are, in the ordinance that you'd have to dig deep to find them, but I don't recall us talking about any, so. Yeah, it'd be more for like a commercial business. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering, for commercial buildings, do you have to still get a permit in order to have an Airbnb? Or is that something where you're taking residential property and then you're renting it as an Airbnb and you have to have a permit?
Airbnbs, I don't believe are part of the ordinance.
I don't think we have anything on that.
Oh, I thought there was something on the ordinance about Airbnb.
Short-term rentals, isn't there something about short-term rentals?
Well, yeah, or maybe you call it short-term rental or something instead, or
I don't think there's any permit process currently.
Oh,
Nick?
There's nothing,
Okay.
there's nothing, no.
Oh, excuse me, I was just reading it before I came, I'm concerned because I have a short-term rental. It said on there you had to have a permit to have a short-term rental? Oh, you said no, okay. I
Not
thought
that I'm aware of, not in this version of the ordinance, I don't believe.
The new version that you're.
Correct.
Okay, then I must have been looking at the wrong one. So there's no permit needed going forward for short-term rental?
Currently, no.
Currently, that word is making me nervous. So does that mean?
Well, I can't predict what could change tomorrow. I mean, that's,
Oh, but the one that's being submitted tonight, no permits are needed for short-term rentals. I think it's 7.2.
Because I believe that was in there and then it was taken out, Dan. Because we talked to Denise about that.
Okay.
I think it's,
I remember
I
correctly.
just looked at it correctly, seven, I want to say it's page 756. 7.2, yeah. I have one, so I just want to make sure I'm okay with it.
I was just curious if
Yeah.
what changes would be.
Okay, well, when we get that noted, we'll look at that and we'll discuss that in a bit, but, anybody else have any comments? Questions?
This is a separate building permit is required for each short-term rental project, regardless of whether or not the properties are under the same ownership.
We'll talk about that when we. Anybody else? All right, hearing none, it is 7:14. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Actually, that needs to be put. We can go ahead and go through.
Just for the numbers.
Yeah. Regular meetings. Anybody have any, we'll just go to a public comment period outside of the public hearing from the ordinance. Anybody have any comments? Hearing none, we'll move on. Written correspondence, I didn't get anything, do you need anything this month? I need to back up a little bit. Going too fast. Let's go back to the minutes. I looked at that. Oh.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the 11/11/2024 meeting minutes with the one name correction. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are approved now. I'm jumping around back and forth here. Okay, report board of trustees.
We have not met yet this month. We meet next Tuesday, and our meeting dates have changed. They're going to be the second Tuesday of the month at 7 instead of the second Wednesday.
Zoning board of appeals, no meetings on that. Zoning administrator? Nothing new coming down? Tri-Township, as I mentioned a little bit ago, there is a Tri-Township meeting, again, January 16th, it's next Thursday, a week from this coming Thursday, 7 p.m. at the house, at the South Shore Fire Station. Nothing under new business tonight, so we'll go to old business, the zoning ordinance. What page did you say that was on?
7.57.
How do you remember this? I don't remember discussing this.
No, I don't either.
Our current ordinance
We did?
does say zoning permit is required.
It's supposed to be removed.
Okay.
So permits required to have an Airbnb?
No.
Oh, they're gonna remove it all. Okay.
discussion from the board with respect to that? Not needing to do it or what? Because I have taken a couple calls over the last few months on that. People asking what the direction is going to be in the ordinance. And it was without looking at this, and I didn't remember talking about it, and it was always the township stance.
I don't remember it being in here, I remember we talked about it.
We had gone through pretty much everything in the last meeting, talking about the changes to,
Did you speak on all that? What points were you getting on?
I don't have my notes from when we had done that.
For 732, is that what you're talking about still?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So 732 was supposed to be struck out because according to the township attorney, if the short-term rental is to be, or an ordinance is to be passed, it needs to be an independent ordinance.
the whole section.
Correct.
Didn't that fall in the same as the, it was the same as the blight?
Yes.
Yep.
At this point, I think, having no other comments, I know we've had several changes since the last public hearing, but there were some changes with respect to solar. I think we had some changes with respect to parking of vehicles on properties, camping, storage of vehicles on properties. We had a couple of definition changes. Added a couple definitions. And there was I think the last one was the one where we had that big list that we went through. Unfortunately, I don't have that with me now either. But, I think we beat those up pretty good. Section 7.32. Page 756. Because the other thing I asked Denise to do was, I don't think it changed the ordinance. I was asking her if we could keep the zoning map as a reference from the ordinance, but keep it a separate document so that we can change the zoning map to that. And that's not in here, so I believe that's been done also. That list right there.
$316.
Yeah, one of the changes since the last public hearing, section 316 was with regard to fences and buffering. We looked at that.
Residential outdoor lighting.
What section is that?
319.
It's back a little bit.
I don't remember what we changed.
Yeah, I was just looking at something else. Yeah, I don't think we ended up changing anything in here. Yeah, I don't think we did.
Sign size.
Yeah, we did change that.
Even buildings, I think we just clarified whether it was into the county or parcel to parcel. And we talked about I think this is where,
3-7. It was a little harder having it printed on one page, one sided. Yeah, just, one of the other items that we did look at, just maybe looking at was, with respect to commercial properties. John, there was some discussion about advertising and minimum lot widths on commercial properties for being able to advertise and show, show vehicles or show boats.
Things for sale or something like that.
Yeah, so we did have some discussion about that on commercial properties.
this one about RV storage.
Yeah.
Campers. Private roads. That's the one you already mentioned, that we didn't,
Right.
went back.
We had that on, some of the classifications, various lot size, parcel sizes. lot of discussion about minimum building sizes, as accessory structures on vacant properties. There's discussions about the proverbial hunting blind on a piece of property, if it's so many square feet where they need a permit from the county. And I believe from Nick, right? So that's what we ended up, I think, with. So it was a structure of 200 square feet needs a permit. For the county.
Just all.
Yeah, that little stuff. So with that, I guess with those discussions in mind, there's a couple things that we can do. One, I would probably suggest that we do a motion to forward this on, recommend approval and forward it on, subject to removal of section 7.2.3A1.
I thought it was the whole thing, right?
I'm sorry, 7.23. Make sure we get that right, it's that whole section. $310, $732. So motion could include, yeah. My book was on top of my cursor right there. Any other discussion? Is anybody willing to entertain a motion?
So we'll make a motion, I make a motion to forward this to the county with the removal of section 7.32, short-term rentals.
Okay, we have a motion. You have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Anthony, second by Barb. Ask for a roll call.
McClure,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
McKinnon. Alexander,
Okay, motion carries. So this will move to the county. I suspect it'll come back to the township board, probably in.
They have 30 days.
Yeah, 30 days, so it'll be at the end of February, probably late February, early March, I would think maybe. If the county doesn't do anything, if they act on it before then it could come back earlier. So. But we will move this on to the county in the next couple of days. So. All right. With that being the only old business, any comments from anybody? Okay, our next meeting will be, as I said, January 16th, Tri-Township meeting. Our next regular scheduled meeting is February 3rd here. Just a note, last month we set up our meeting dates for 2025 and we, or in November. Last year we had them every other month. This year we decided to have the meetings every month, or at least schedule them. It makes it a little bit easier for us to do because if we have something that comes up in between every other month, we have to call a special meeting. So we kept this meeting schedule on a monthly basis, and if there are no agenda items, within probably a week before the meeting, we will go ahead and cancel it. And we can get that pushed out on the township pushes it out on the email distribution list. So, but at this point, we'll plan on having a February 3rd meeting. So, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion. Second. Okay, Motion by Anthony, second by Ryan, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, thanks for coming out, everybody.
Thank you.
Sure.